Business owners, listen up. Now, you may or may not know already, at least from the previous video, probably right up here, that podcasting is perhaps one of the best ways to connect with your audience and showcase your expertise, become a thought leader, all that kind of good stuff. If you haven't already watched the video, go ahead and click right here. But did you know that optimizing your podcast for search engines can help you reach even more customers? Just like anything that you post on the internet, podcasts can also be optimized for SEO. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you 5 ways that you can optimize your podcast for SEO. Starting first with your title and description. It is perhaps one of the most underrated and overthought things that a lot of people, when it comes to posting anything, whether it be a YouTube video or even a blog post, tend to forget. Always optimize your title and description, because it is those keywords, among other things, that search engines are going to go and pick up. For example, if you post something extremely generic that everybody else posts, probably something like business talk with Felix, for example, then it's going to be factored in with all the other titles of podcasts that exist out there with the words business talk in them, which, especially if you have something specific that you like to talk about, is going to get lost in the wind with hundreds of other podcasts. Perhaps one of the easiest ways, if you don't have any ideas, to insert keywords into the podcast title and description is to use a little bit of humor. If you've ever seen a movie called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, you can even do something like The Rule Breaker's Guide to Business Success. This way, not only does your podcast stand out, more importantly, it is something that can easily be remembered, and it'll be something more unique to search up, which will make you stand out in your search results. Point number 2 has to do with doing the same exact thing, which is inserting keyword-rich titles into your podcast episodes. Seeing as my cat is in this frame right here, for example, if you host a podcast about pet care, you might want to use keywords like dog grooming or cat behavior or pet nutrition as some good examples for your titles and descriptions. But beware of this one big tip, and I'm just going to highlight it right here. As much as it is tempting to go and put keywords all over any of your titles and descriptions for your podcast episodes, I advise you, and I highly advise you, not to put too much of it, because that is considered keyword stuffing and it'll actually hurt your SEO. If you put the same constant words through most of your posts in an effort to try to boost your SEO, search engine algorithms will not only scope that out, but they will leave whatever podcast episode or ultimately your podcast altogether out of the search results because of the noted attempt to try to rank up higher in search results. Remember this, while search engine optimization is a great thing to know, especially if you're doing digital marketing, ultimately optimizing your search engine results takes time. Also, pay attention to the language that you use when creating podcast episodes. After all, you wouldn't be using the words lit or riz to a baby boomer audience if you are targeting baby boomers. So remember, use relevant keywords throughout your podcast to optimize it for SEO, but do so in a natural way that not only resonates with your audience, but makes sense also for your content. This will make it easier for search engines to understand what your podcast is about and rank it accordingly. Number 3, submit your podcast to directories. Submitting your podcast to directories such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts can definitely help with your visibility and make it easier for people to find your content. And this is helpful because of backlinks. A backlink is simply a link from another website linking to yours. And the more high quality backlinks you have, in other words, the more backlinks that you have from more prevalent websites that you have, the more better your SEO is going to be. As such, backlinks are a critical component of SEO because they help search engines determine the authority and relevance of your content. Some of the best ways to build backlinks for your podcast include guest appearances in other people's podcasts, reaching out to other people or blogs to put backlinks onto their blog or podcast, or, like I mentioned before, directory submissions. When building backlinks, it's important to focus on quality over quantity. It is better to have one high quality backlink from a reputable website than 10 backlinks from websites that barely get any traffic and, worse off, have a high bounce rate. Number 4, another underrated tip. Use transcriptions on your podcasts. Transcribing your podcast episodes can make them more accessible to a much wider audience, including those who may have difficulty hearing or understanding spoken content. To create transcripts for your podcast, you could either listen to the podcast and do it yourself, hire a transcription service, or use automatic transcription software. Personally, one of the easiest things you could do is to get a free Chrome extension called Voicing that allows vocal speech to be detected and translates spoken word into direct text onto a document. If you happen to be lucky like me and have a microphone as part of your setup, you could pull the audio file from your phone, shove it onto the microphone, and let it be transcribed onto a blank Google Doc or whatever empty Word document that you use. And last but not least, number 5. promote your podcast on social media. Now, this is easily where I'll vouch for the whole quantity over quality argument here. Given how saturated the market is on an hourly basis on any given social media platform, much less the ones that we take a look at every day, posting a high amount of podcast episodes as you can, of course, without sacrificing the quality behind each podcast episode, is going to be your biggest ally in expanding your reach. You could even net multiple birds with one stone here by not just posting on social media, but using a podcast as a lead generation tactic on, say, Facebook, in order for people to subscribe to you by email or get the latest among any product or service or any offers for any products and services that your business offers. Going back to the point of inserting yourself with guest appearances on other people's podcasts or blogs, this is an opportunity for you to tag the person that you collaborated with and gain access to their audience, thus giving you the ability to cross-promote yourself and your collaborator with each other's audiences. But above all else, business owners, the key to promoting your podcast is to focus on providing value to your audience. Share your podcast in a way that feels authentic and useful, with consistent promotion, consistent posting, and consistent feedback with your audience. You can grow your audience and improve the SEO of your podcast. Now, before you go, here's a little case study that I want to offer you really quick. I like following Alex Hormozi's content. If you don't know who Alex Hormozi is, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link of one of his videos up here. And in many interviews that he's done with other podcasters, he mentions quite a bit that it took 4 years for his podcast to gain traction. Now, he's been creating content and documenting his entire journey for a hot minute. However, it took him 4 years to not only gain traction, but to rank extremely high on podcast directories. Now, if it took somebody that successful in order for their podcast to rank high, remember, your podcast is your tool to not only help you grow your audience, but also to net more clients. Ultimately, just like any other social media channel that you're posting your content on, you're providing value for your audience. Remember that you're not only providing value for your audience, but you're building a rapport with these people. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give a like so that I can spread this video out to more people who may need this content. Hit the subscribe button as well and share this video with people who you may know who may need it. Leave a comment below on how else would you optimize your podcast. We'll see you on the next video. Until then, bye.